Panda. Panda, panda, panda. I got broads in Atlanta, codeine in the family, pretty girls in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van. Legacies, family, wait and see, look like a panda, going out like a Montana, honey killers on the hands. Legacies, family, wait and see.
So if you guys have been around my channel for a while, you guys have seen my cars. Well, not all of them, but most of them. It's been mostly just my 350Z and my DRZ, which is just street bike I have next to me. You can't see it. I have those cars, and I wanted to make a video to show like my other, not cars, but like my other car that I like take pride in, I guess. I didn't know a proper way to do it because it's not really driving right now. So this video is kind of like an introductory video to introduce like my car and the project that I'm going under. For this car, I put it on the channel so you guys are like aware of what I'm doing and know what I'm talking about if I ever refer to it. So I'm going to start off with where the car was and when I got it. I bought the car back in 2013 for a pretty good price. I don't really want to say the price, but I bought it for a pretty good price. And it was basically stage 2 like every other Subaru out there, stock motor, stock turbo, just had like an exhaust intake and an access port, so like tune. And I bought it like that, and I ran it for about, I think maybe 3 months. I had the car for about 3 months, and I had the typical like Subaru ringland failure and lost compression into the cylinders. And what a ringland failure is, basically the piston just cracks and it loses compression and it's not good. So the car didn't run. When that happened, I didn't just want to rebuild, I didn't just want to throw a stock motor in there. I figured why not just go all the way, you know, like I bought a built motor. It had like forged pistons, forged rods, and it had really low miles. And it was what I wanted, so I bought it and I threw that in there. But when I threw that in there, I also bought like a rotated turbo kit from Perrin, which is basically what you want for these cars. It rotates the turbo away so it keeps heat away from the block. And so I bought a Garrett GT 3076R rotated turbo kit and external wastegate and just everything after that, injectors, full exhaust, just basically everything there besides like E85. When I was putting the forged motor and the turbo in the car, I also bought some Bride like Lomax seats. You can see one of them right there. I bought Bride Lomaxes and I threw those in the car. I have a harness bar and Takata harnesses and a Nardi wheel. I'll do a walk around in the interior in a second. And I also have suspension. I have sway bars, full adjustable coilovers, just the typical stuff. Like stiff motor mounts, tranny mounts, just everything. The car's solid. It had 430 wheel horsepower, and that setup was great. It was faster than most anything on the street, and it was like my first time having a real fast car. So after that, it was just the best thing ever. In the field, that was good. After about 15,000 miles or about a year of running that setup, I daily drove the car. I shouldn't have, but I did it anyways. It was my only car. I was doing a pull, I should say. On the way home from doing the few pulls I was doing, the car was running weird. It was idling really high and just erratic, and I didn't know what was going on. So I looked in the engine bay and I saw a vacuum leak, which is like a boost leak. So I fixed it, and then on my way to work the next day, I did a small pull on the way to work, and my boost was peaking at like 36 pounds or something before I let off the throttle, and I cracked my block. The wastegate came unplugged. It's kind of hard to explain, but wastegate hose came unplugged, so I was just running full boost. And I blew the turbo while I was at it, and I cracked the block. So there went that. That was done for that setup. And since then, the car, that was almost 2 years ago when that happened. And I still have the car. It's still tore apart. The motor's taken out of it. The turbo's still in there. So where it is now, sitting right here in my garage on jack stands, it has everything to the car, underneath the car. Where I plan to go with it, I plan to buy I was gonna build the block completely myself because I'm totally comfortable doing it. I'm confident that if I built the motor it would withstand. But what I was gonna do, I was gonna get a closed deck from IAG Performance, and if I did that, it costs some money to send the block over to machine it through them. And after out the door, if I did it myself, it's about the same price if I just bought the block from them. So I'm just gonna buy a short block from IAG Performance, and I have built heads, and I'm gonna get a bigger turbo. I'm gonna go E85. So I plan to go to the Precision 6262 with E85, built heads with cams and valves, and the like almost, I don't want to say fully built because you're never fully built, but I want to say close to fully built short block, so it should be making some decent power, and that should be done here by, I'm hoping for summer, but if we're going to be realistic, probably fall, maybe like winter, it should be finished. And I'm hoping for 500 horsepower, 550 horsepower, something like that to the wheels. We got the turbo and the blow-off valve and the air oil separator. That's a blow-off valve turbo. And just typical stuff. I mean, I don't want to explain everything just because there's a lot going on, but it's not pretty. There's just everything everywhere, and there's not much to show here. And here's my turbo. Yeah, if you hear that when I overboost it, it's actually bad for the turbo, so I think it needs new bearings or something. So I'm just gonna buy a new one, maybe sell this one, rebuild it, maybe throw it on a different car. We got the wastegate, turbo blanket, and like the full exhaust. The only thing, I still have stock headers just because I don't trust aftermarket headers. It's a pretty solid setup. It works for me, and I have a front mount intercooler. It's obviously not on the car, but I have my intercooler piping, like the strut tower brace. I have that, my front mount intercooler piping, and my intake manifold all painted this candy red, and it looks pretty good. We got some coilovers and these carbon fiber APR mirrors. Here's my Nardi. It's on an NRG like quick tilt. It's a real Nardi, and nothing over here. We got some Defy gauges over there in this gauge pod, a white shift knob, my Takatas, my intercooler piping, that's my bumper, and my harness bar, my other bride with the Takatas in it. And I have the other bride, it's just inside. I use it for my Thrustmaster, LOL. But other than that, here's how it sits. It's just chilling. It's not beautiful right now, but it'll clean up. So subscribe if you want to see more of this car. There's gonna be updates in the future, like build updates, the car actually running one day, and just everything I'm gonna do to the car, I'll put it on the channel. If I get a new motor, a new part, I'll just have like a video of everything I've gotten and where the car is coming. So I'll have that on the channel, plus my 350Z, so subscribe if you want to see me and my cars and stuff. So yeah.